Hey, what's going on? Welcome to VT Sports. I'm Danny Kanell alongside my guy Chris Manno. Fun show lined up for you. A lot of Shedeur Sanders talk. Boy, was it a week for the rookie quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, and he's getting another start. We'll dive into that. NFL, I want to play a little game with Chris Manno. Who do you trust out in the NFL? And that list could be very, very small. Plus, we got some NBA drama out there as well that we want to dive into. Fun show lined up for you the day before Thanksgiving. Hope everybody has a fantastic Thanksgiving. But we have to give congratulations to the new dad, Chris Manno, today. How we doing? How's it feel?
It's incredible. It's incredible, man. I am a very, very lucky dude right before Thanksgiving. I have a whole bunch to be thankful for. Crazy ride, though. I mean, it was supposed to be yesterday, but she decided she wasn't going to hold up. There she is. Hello. That is my beautiful daughter, Ava Giselle. And yeah, man. So it's been a crazy week. Started off Sunday morning into Monday last week at 3:30 a.m. We went down to Memorial Regional. They did an awesome job with my wife, so thank you to them. And here she is. She's home and she's happy and she eats a lot and sleeps a bunch and she's perfect, man.
Everything's now that is the swaddle. I don't know if you heard the advice that I had for you the last one when you were out. Because you got to learn the swaddle. It's like a burrito, and she looks like a little burrito right there. You just got to get them. And then once you kind of pin them in there, like they can't move, and they just kind of they're just stuck.
Dude, I heard it. I took it to heart, and it is supreme advice. I'm telling you, like she's been cranky maybe like 3 times the whole week. She's been beautiful. I mean, the reason I stay up, I was telling you before, is not because she keeps me up, but because anytime I hear her like, or her lips move or anything, I pounce out of bed like, is she choking? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. But she's been amazing. The few times she's been cranky, it's been one swaddle, and she just everything about her calms down. I can hold her. She's easy, man. I'm very lucky, dude.
She's
been amazing.
Beautiful.
Thank you for that.
Awesome. She looks beautiful. The swaddle's clutch. Because if you don't get that like tight, it can come loose. Dude, and then they kick their way out of it. And so you got to get that swaddle wrapped perfect.
So here's the deal. So she is crazy strong. Like her legs and arms, like obviously I'm stronger than her, but I don't want to have to let her know, but the doctor's like, Chris, you got to keep her arms there. And I'm afraid I'm going to hurt her. And that's one thing. And then she's freaking Houdini because I could tie that swaddle as tight as possible. And it takes her like 3 seconds to get the arm out. And then she's clear.
She's already got an arm out. She's already making her moves.
You're not lying. I'm telling you, before I get the left arm down, that right arm has found its way out. So she is magic. So, I love her. I got to learn to work with her, and she's been a joy. She actually came out with that Kansas City Chiefs gear on. So
nice. That is great. I love it. That'll be a great holiday season for you. Christmas is going to be that much more fun. Thanksgiving as well. Thanksgiving is tomorrow. I have a question for you.
Okay, let's do it.
What is your favorite Thanksgiving dish? Do you have one?
I do. It's a matter of it needs to be a good stuffing. If it's a good stuffing, I'm in. Like I like a good stuffing, and I'm one of those jokers who likes the cranberry sauce from a can. Am I the only one?
Ooh, no, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, there's like you can give me an option of like a bowl of like cranberries with like the sticks in them and I'm like, no thanks, I don't want that.
So the reason I asked that question is because I think you just proved my point once again that turkey is the most overrated Thanksgiving dish on the table.
Yeah, you know what?
I can't stand turkey.
Yeah.
We never order turkey anytime other of the year.
Okay.
Like, when do you go to restaurants and I'll have the turkey?
Never.
You don't. And if you ask people what their favorite dish is, they're going to give you a side. They're going to give you stuffing. They're going to give you some
sweet potatoes,
casserole, something aside from turkey.
Right.
It makes you tired. It's not that flavorful. I actually, you might look at me differently.
No.
I actually like a little ketchup on my turkey.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like it needs it because it needs a little flavor. Turkey, it needs to go. Okay. Like if I was in charge, which I am not in my household, if I was in charge, I would say, let's do some ribs.
That's cool.
Let's do some burgers. Well, I don't need turkey. I want something I like.
What background are the Kanells? Like, what are you guys?
German and Norwegian.
Okay, so my pop was from Italy, so like you could always throw down like a little lasagna or something, and all of us are cool.
Give me lasagna 10 days out of 10 on Thanksgiving over turkey.
But it's a matter of how it's served too. Like turkey like that, if you just cut that thing off like that, I'm like, little dry usually, not my style. But if you cut like some slices, and this is going to bring me right down to your level, oh man, like you go to like a microwave dinner and get like a couple of slices of turkey with some gravy on it, I can mess with it like that.
Really?
I don't like it like that either.
I mean, turkey sandwich, like turkey deli style turkey, I'll have that, but I don't want no turkey. I don't want the bird on my plate.
I'm not mad.
All right, NFL, one of the best holidays of the year, by the way. I think this weekend might be one of my favorite weekends because you get football, you get family, and you just get to have a lot of awesome times together. So there's football all day Thursday, there's college football Friday, NFL too. Like it's all weekend, wall to wall. It's rivalry weekend in college as well. So I think it's the best weekend of the year to enjoy football. And the NFL is starting to heat up, and there's some really, really interesting storylines from the NFL, primarily the hottest topic, and it has been talked about since the NFL draft with the drop that was heard around the world when he dropped from a potential first-round pick to the fifth-round pick, and whether it went into training camp, why is he fourth string? We've talked a lot about it. Well, his opportunity finally came, and Shedeur Sanders gets a dub on the road against the Raiders. And my goodness, my prediction before that game was the internet may break. I think there was a possibility that might have happened, although the Raiders' offensive line definitely broke too with Geno Smith getting sacked 10 times. But the reactions to Shedeur were the most predictable thing I think I've ever seen. We've compared it to Tim Tebow. There's that Tim Tebow-like hysteria around everything that Shedeur does. There has to be a take of he's either proven everybody wrong, he should have been the first overall pick, or he's going to be a bust. And you knew those people that liked Shedeur were not happy because he came in off the bench. It wasn't great. Everybody was dunking on him. That the moment they could get a chance to dunk right back on everybody else, they were going to do it. So the most ardent Shedeur Sanders backers were out there letting it be known that this was what they were going to get, and this is what you're going to see the rest of Shedeur's career. He's a Hall of Famer. He's the most impactful rookie we've ever seen.
Did you hear Kendrick Perkins?
Oh, my goodness. Did I hear Kendrick Perkins? I want to save that just for a minute because I want to get your take on Shedeur before I get to that lunacy that's out there. But overall, what did you think of Shedeur?
I think Shedeur gave me exactly what I think I expected Shedeur to give me, right? Because Shedeur went as a fifth-round pick. I don't think he was fifth-round pick talent. I don't think he was top 5 overall talent. But look, let's give him, first of all, love where he deserves love. First Browns quarterback to win their first start in the last 18, right? First guy to do it in 25 years. Wasn't a beautiful win, but it was a win, right? In the Browns world, a win is a win, right? I'd probably pump the brakes a little bit on him being like a future Hall of Famer. If you actually break down what he did, threw for a touchdown, threw for a pick, and his touchdown was like a 66-yard screen scamper. So, that was like the bulk of his offense. He did make one great throw deep, so I'll give him some love there. But like he did good, he did bad. It's like politics, man. He's like a super hot button topic. You knew exactly who was going to say this was the best start they ever seen, and you knew exactly who was going to say. I mean, there's guys saying he was selfish and abrasive in his post game. They're cutting out parts of his post game. That kind of frustrated me. It's like, guys, give the kid a fair shake. You know what I mean? He didn't pick where he came from. Like, I think the drill. A lot of it is because his pop was is Dion. You know the deal.
I thought his first NFL start would go exactly the way it did.
Exactly.
He had a couple highlight throws, which were awesome. The throw he made rolling out of the pocket was incredible.
It was.
The interception he threw was bad. It was a bad read. Forced the throw. It was underneath. I thought there were some moments there. I mean, the screen pass that everybody was kind of mimicking, saying, oh, what an unbelievable throw this is. I mean,
unbelievable. Yes.
My 13-year-old daughter could make that throw. That was just a swing pass and a screen, and that did all the work right there. Dylan Sampson.
And look, let's not pretend he wasn't playing the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders they were brutal.
But that's why I thought that was a great opportunity for him, and I'll stand by this. As much as people hated where he dropped to, I thought the Cleveland Browns were the perfect spot for him, because of the the quarterback room was one of the worst in the NFL. So there's an opportunity to play. And he's gotten that opportunity, which I think was perfect for him. Now, did it roll out perfectly? Did he win the job in training camp? No. But he finally got his opportunity, and now he's made the most of it. Now he gets an extended look because he earned the start, which I think is totally a no-brainer decision from Kevin Stefanski. Like, of course he's going to start. He won the game. The thing that really concerns me is just where we are as a society. where it's been racialized now and where people have put their stake in the ground, and it's either Shedeur is awful for football and he's cocky and he's arrogant and he's got to fail, or he's Martin Luther King, and he's gonna be a Hall of Famer and he's gonna prove everybody wrong, or as Kendrick Perkins' words, let's play them now because I'm curious. Kendrick Perkins had an interesting take.
Hot take king of the world, Kendrick Perkins.
Shedeur Sanders is the most powerful black man since 2009. You know what happened in 2009?
Right.
That's when President Obama got elected in office. He's the most powerful black man since 2009. You said you were sitting there watching the game in your house, and what you did? You ran with the TV.
Goddamn right,
right?
I did.
What was you doing, DB?
I was cheering. I was happy.
You was cheering like a motherfucker. When Shedeur Sanders is on the field, and when I say powerful because there's two sides of it, right? Think about it. Okay, you got the black community. He bringing the whole black community together. I ain't ran across one black person that didn't said one bad thing about Shedeur.
We want him.
And guess what? Not one, because he has the balance. He has the balance of that. I'm arrogant, but I'm humble too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
He got fun with this shit.
And he having fun with this shit. And on top of that, y'all want me to say it ain't. Y'all want me to feel it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, he talking shit. I love that shit, bro.
He's the most powerful black man in sports. No other. Matter of fact, fuck black man. He the most powerful player in sports.
Oh, come on.
I mean, what are we doing here? When he said 2009, I thought, like, why did he pick that year? And he said President Obama.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about LeBron James. I was thinking about Tiger Woods. Right. I was thinking about other just sports influential figures who have meant way more and have had way more power and worldwide brand appeal than Shedeur has. That's just maybe the most over-the-top ridiculous take I've ever heard. But there is some truth in it. And I do think the black community wants Shedeur Sanders to win. And I do think they have come together in their support of Shedeur. And I think that's a great thing. The only thing that worries me about is when people, and it will happen, and it probably will be a lot of white people who don't like the arrogance, don't like the way he handles himself, then it's you're racist if you don't support him. Right. And that worries me because I don't like things that are racially sensationalized. And I feel that this is going to be one of those topics. That's what worries me.
Well, what I love and what I hate about sports is they really are like a microcosm of things, right? And that's exactly what it is, like the rest of our world. Shedeur Sanders, I don't know that, that's why I tried to point out at the beginning of this that there are people on both sides of this argument that are being so absurd. Again, I've seen his post-game comments where he went out of his way to give glory to God and thank his teammates and blah, blah, blah. And then the end of it sounds a little arrogant. Like, imagine what I could do with a year of practice. And I'm not even mad at that. I kind of want my quarterback to feel like that. But the only thing you see in a lot of these clips is that part. But then on the other side of the argument, you get jokers like this who will say, I mean, that's like disrespectful to all the successful black people who in the last 15 years have done beautiful things, like incredible things, world-changing things. And this guy's going to put him in the same category as that. Look, I am not a LeBron James fan by any stretch, but to try to compare the power that LeBron James has with the power that Shedeur Sanders has over one start is ridiculous. I also dislike in the podcast settings like that one and others like it, how these guys just let the one guy go and nobody checks
They
him.
were in agreement.
Come on. No, they weren't. They can't
Those guys were saying yes.
I heard it.
They were
agreeing. But I
agreeing.
can't believe that 3 people in the world feel like that. You know what I mean? And that happens on podcasts all the time. And if I ever say anything that stupid on here, Danny, I want you to stop me before the sentence finishes out of my mouth, because that's absurd.
I will.
That is so ridiculous.
Some people were surprised by this tweet. I guess it was on Truth Social from Donald Trump, the president of the United States, is out there. Now, he has said this.
Yeah.
He did say during the draft he thought it was ridiculous that Shedeur dropped. So he followed up, said Shedeur Sanders was great. All caps. Wins are great. And he said, hey, he's got it in his genes, where he said it before. So that does speak to it's more of a cultural phenomenon that's taken place that, again, I think has very reminiscent of Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
But it also, there's a derangement from people that are unable to just see things clearly.
Right.
Because I think Shedeur, he could be good. I think he may not be. He's definitely he's a better NFL prospect than Tim Tebow. I can say that with confidence. Mm-hmm. I think there's a chance he could play 10, 15 years. Do I think he's a starter? I don't know. I think his comp for me is Geno Smith, the guy he just played. I
That's
think there's
okay.
a similar skill set. I think they have a similar arm talent. I think they have a similar pocket presence.
Athletic ability.
Yeah. And because is it because he's black? Are you seeing that? No, I think their release is similar. Like, I just think they're very similar quarterbacks. And Geno Smith's played a long time in the NFL.
Yep.
Is Shedeur going to be, is he going to get a contract to be a $300 million quarterback? I don't know. That would be a surprise to me, but he's proved a lot of people wrong. If he's in the right system, I think he could. There are other quarterbacks that probably aren't as talented that have been in the right system and the right organization that have played their way into those contracts. So I'm like open to it, but that is not a common take. Like, I either need to say he's going to be a bust or he's going to be a Hall of Famer. And if you're not in there, people they do not have the ability to see clearly right now.
Well, you say that's not a common take, and I would disagree in the sense that I think amongst sane people, that is a common take. I think you, a football person, watches Shedeur's college career and his draft and the first couple of weeks of his career, and you feel like that. I'd like to think I feel the same. But social media, we often conflate that with real life, and it is not. And you're 100% right. It is so incredibly tribal. And again, we say, just like politics, as I watch the President of the United States on my screen with Shedeur, which is crazy. But yeah, you have to pick a side. You can't be anywhere in the middle, or else you don't get any, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm trying. I'm trying my best to stay in the middle and say, like, listen, give him love. He won the game. He didn't make the mistake that cost the Browns, as so many Browns quarterbacks have before. But his touchdown wasn't like the Manning to Manningham throw where he squeezes it in a tight window and it's a bit. He threw a dump pass and his guy made a play, which is great. That's a lot of times. Look, you could play a long time just not making mistakes. A couple of check downs here and there, and they go. I mean, again, I think I'm right with you there. Where I need the guy to make a couple of plays a game, don't make a lot of mistakes, and polish yourself up. And he does have a good gene pool. Let's see what happens.
The thing that worries me is it just gets so over the top and hyperbolic that you're already having people dunk on the critics after one game.
Yeah.
And so the reaction's going to be, because no quarterback goes unscathed through a whole season. Like, he's going to have a game where he has a couple interceptions. Right. Does it happen this weekend against 49ers? I don't know. But when he does, the other side, the haters, are going to come out and be like, see, you guys were wrong. And then it's toxic.
Do you remember Anthony Richardson's first game?
Yeah.
He came out of the gates like a maniac. Right.
Yeah.
He threw for a ton of yards, touchdowns. He looked big. He looked physical. Look, it's a tough league, guys. There's a reason that I'm a big believer that there's probably, and I've said this before on here, probably 8 to 10 quarterbacks who could change a game in a franchise. And I think probably like 12 to 32 are very interchangeable. And do I think Shedeur can go on and be 15 or 16 to 32? Yeah, I don't see why not. But let's go ahead and pump the brakes again. Let's see him win a game or two on his own. I mean, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, and one of them was let's go see him go throw for 3.
Yeah.
Don't turn the football over. And what do you think about him post game? You think he was cool?
So,
you like the way he handled
this is I think this is from today. I think we have updated sound, and this annoys me from Cleveland's media.
Okay.
Because they're trying to bait Shedeur. They want viral content. They want him, because they know he's somebody who's willing to speak his mind. They want him to give him something juicy.
Okay.
So they ask him about Kevin Stefanski sabotaging his career.
Oh, I did see this.
Have a listen.
But all your supporters out there say that Kevin Stefanski was sabotaging you.
So you just want to start trouble, huh?
No, I want to ask you what your relationship with him is.
Yeah, well, what people do outside the building isn't really in my control. It's not in my power. So I don't. Yeah, like I go out there and tell them to do whatever. That's not nothing I could control or nothing I could do. But overall, I'm just happy to be here. Coach Stefanski, been coaching since I got here, and he's been doing a very great job, with everything that's going on.
But what is your relationship like with him and when we don't see you guys together?
Definitely like a coach. He tells me what I need to do on and off the field. We've definitely grown. Our relationship and everything has grown. So I'm just thankful to be here.
I mean, they want so bad. Give me something. They want him to say, well, it's a little strained, or they wanted him to say something, because I don't think they knew he wouldn't say, yes, he sabotaged my career. They were hoping he would have dangled out there something that would have been viral, would give them content to run with, and I thought that was an A+ answer from Shedeur Sanders. I thought him to dodge that and say no, and he called it out right away, because he saw right through the question and said, you're just trying to start trouble. And I love that from Shedeur.
Yeah, I will acknowledge that from the jump. I mean, and this is true. I don't think Kevin Stefanski is rooting for Shedeur. And I would say that as recent as even after the game, I think he gave out a bunch of game balls, and like the one person he noticeably, left out was Shedeur. So I think there is something to it. But at the same time, I think Shedeur has done a good job even since the draft of answering the right way when he needs to. The only time we saw him like kind of stray a little bit from that is when he wasn't playing and he gave that thing where he like was voicing, where he pretended to voice. And that was his like lone slip up. But I think he understands I'm in a good position right now. Let me not ruffle the waters. He's done a great job of that so far. I really love the way he answered during the draft, after the draft. He's always seemed reasonably gracious to me. I never really got the idea. Look, is he cocky in between the lines? Does he play with brash and a little bit of attitude? I like that about him. But I think he's, for the most part, done a good job with this. This is becoming a thing that I see with reporters that really does drive me crazy, though. And the players are starting to get pissed at it, too. I mean, it happened in the Jets locker room earlier this week. A reporter, I think it was Costello, up in New York, he goes up to Justin Fields, and out of nowhere, Justin Fields, who's just minding his own business, scrums where everywhere else, and he asks him a question solely with the sole purpose of trying to piss him off, right? And he says like this, it's about God, it's about he answers great. Justin Fields always answers great, you know? And Breece Hall, who's a team leader, kind of came out on Twitter and was like, guys, what is the point of this? Like, why do you, and I'm telling, like, I know the whole point of today is to get a hot take, get a clip to go viral, but guys, if you're trying to cultivate a trust-based relationship with athletes, this is never the move. I mean, there's guys you'll get it from, but I don't know. I kind of hate that. I think it's like I think it's cheap when these reporters do
They're
that.
Always trying to do it. They're trying to drum up something to go viral. They want content. They want that. That's what people are into.
Yeah.
They want to see the drama. They want you to give them some juice to feed. It's like sharks with blood in the water.
Yeah.
And especially on losing teams.
Sure.
When there's franchise, when your team's kind of coming apart, because there's a tendency. That's very human nature to come apart and see some relationships that are frayed, and to have players, give you off the record content. So they're feeling pretty emboldened, those locker rooms, to ask those questions, and good for the players for calling them out. I do want to straighten you out, though.
Go ahead.
Because I think you just fell victim to something that I think is pretty common.
Okay.
Because you mentioned the game ball.
I'm not perfect, Dan.
My guys, these are the captain of the Shedeur Sanders army.
Okay.
Unc and Ocho.
Okay.
Shannon Sharp and Chad Johnson. They were upset, like you were, that Shedeur didn't get a game ball.
I didn't say it was upset, but it was noticeable to me.
Okay. After Dylan Gabriel beat the Miami Dolphins.
Didn't get a game ball?
Did not get a game ball. And he gave out way more game balls
that's fair,
than he did in this one. He gave out a game ball to a dude who started like his most consecutive starts in his career.
Oh, really?
And then he gave out the entire defense a game ball in that one. I mean, he gave out like 40 game balls and did not give one to Dylan Gabriel.
Well,
I think it's just Stefanski. Some coaches are like that. They just do not want to give a lot of recognition to maybe the quarterbacks, maybe rookie quarterbacks. Like, you kind of have to be a vet.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not just your first start. I mean, I'm trying to think of if I got a game ball for my first start, I probably grabbed one, like that I could steal. Like
first win, though.
First touchdown pass. I got that first win on the road in Arizona. I don't think I got a game ball, but I think I took it, because I wanted to have a memento. I don't know. I probably did. I think the game ball stuff was completely overblown. And this is what I think is driving Kevin Stefanski nuts. Everything's super dissected.
Yeah, of course.
And every time he gets asked about him, like even before the last 2 weeks of him getting asked about Shedeur every press conference, I thought he was getting irritated. Just like Bill Belichick got irritated by getting asked by Tim Tebow.
Sure.
Like, why are you asking me about a third-string quarterback?
Right. And again, in New York, it happens with Aaron Glenn every week. He gets on the microphone now. Now he's named Tyrod Taylor the starter. But for the last month, he'd get on, and the first thing he said is, guys, if you think you're going to ask me about the quarterback, I'm not going to answer.
That is normal. They do not want to get asked about the backups and third strings throughout there. All right. Let's get to some good stuff.
Okay, what do you got?
Some more NFL stuff. Have you ever heard of a trust tree? Do you know what a trust tree is? If Malik Googles a trust tree, there's pictures of it. I really wanted to do this and like hang these teams from the trust tree.
I'm thinking about Meet the Parents right now. Like if you're in my circle of trust.
Yeah, circle of trust. Very similar. See that green one right there, the trust tree? Like I was thinking like if you had NFL teams, like who would you pick
who
from
falls
the trust
under my trust tree?
Yes. Who would fall in there?
Falls
I'm just picturing these franchises. So I am very curious to know, who do you trust in the NFL? Because I think there are very few teams that are trustworthy, which is kind of wild. I've heard some people say this season is garbage. There's no good football teams, and it's been an awful season. Or I think you could look at it the other way.
Yeah.
This thing feels wide open.
Yeah, of course.
You know, of who
Love
could
the
actually
parity.
win the Super Bowl.
Right.
So I'll start off through the standings, and I'll give you teams, and you tell me whether you trust them or not. Or
Okay.
do you want to say who you trust? I think it's a very small list.
No, let's do it your way.
New England Patriots atop the AFC East. Do you trust them?
I trust Mike Vrabel very much, and yes, I very much trust the Patriots. Yeah,
I am 100% on board with you. I think
Yeah.
they might be one of the most trustworthy franchises in the entire league right now.
Yeah.
And I trust Drake May,
So
even
do
though
I.
he is still young and it's his second year and he's just young. He has a presence about him, a
does.
confidence, a coolness, where I think Drake May could be that type of player that actually breaks out and gets a Super Bowl before Josh Allen.
and I know it's gotten a lot of like press lately, but I think for like the last year or so, like I know I knew it coming into the draft, but then I kind of like forgot about it a while. I think a big part of Drake May is his family. I
Oh, big
love
time.
the way Drake May came up with his brothers. They're all big time athletes. Pop's a big time athlete. That kid is not rattled, man.
No.
He is ready for this. He's built for this, and I think this is huge. I trust him too.
I've interviewed him before, and he was telling me his dad played quarterback at North Carolina.
Yeah.
His brothers, one of them won
Yeah.
a national championship at UNC in basketball. The
Stud.
other one won a national championship in baseball at the University of Florida. And he said they would compete all the time.
Yeah.
I think that competitive nature, him getting picked on, it's kept him humble.
Yeah.
Like they still give him a hard time. They don't treat him like Drake May, the franchise quarterback. He's
Treat him
like
like
little
little
brother.
brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to get his butt kicked by him.
There's a real cool clip that came out of Vrabel talking about going to see him hoop. Or was it Vrabel?
Saban.
It was
Nick
Saban
Saban.
talking about going to see him hoop, and yeah, that was a really cool one too. Yeah,
He's
Trust
dunking
him.
in traffic.
Stud.
There's some of him
Freak
shooting
athlete.
threes, but he's
Yeah.
also there's some of him dunking in
Yeah,
traffic.
great athlete.
Yeah, he's a
Great
baller.
athlete. All right, keep
absolutely
going.
baller. All right, Buffalo Bills.
I've seen the Buffalo Bills do some serious damage in the. I guess what do we determine trust? I trust that the Bills will make the playoffs. Do I trust that the Bills will take the next step? Sorry, Josh Allen, I don't. I think Josh Allen's going to resort back to the mean. This is what Josh Allen does. He's going to make a lot of great plays, but he's always susceptible to that one mistake. And I'd say I don't trust the Buffalo Bills.
I don't either.
Okay.
I don't trust him either. How can you trust a team that lost to the Falcons, that lost to the Dolphins, and lost to the Houston Texans, where Josh Allen's running for his life all night? Now, the
Yeah.
Texans defense is pretty filthy.
Yes, they
But he
are.
also had 2 picks. Like the picks, the interception, his bad habits have come to the forefront again as he's getting more pressure. So I do not trust the Bills. All right, I'm assuming you don't trust any other team in the AFC East. Is that correct?
In the AFC East?
Yes.
Oh, no, God, get out of there.
All right,
Get out of
what?
there.
All right, you're right. You don't
Get out
trust
of
any of them. So we
Get
have
out of
one
the
team that we trust. How about the AFC North? I don't trust any team in the AFC North. Do you trust the Ravens?
What do we, again, I think we have to constitute trust. I think any team with Lamar Jackson could win any week. Do I trust? I think the Ravens, brother, you are mystical with your predictions because there's no looking back for these guys. How many games did Lamar Jackson miss?
4, 5?
Can Lamar Jackson win the MVP missing 5 games?
I don't think so.
Dude,
I think it's too much.
He
It's a
just ripped
statistical
off
award.
5 in a row.
Yeah.
And they are a completely different team with him back there.
I'll say I kind of trust. So I would say trust would be who's going to maintain and like if they're at the top, they're going to finish out.
I trust the Ravens. I trust if Lamar Jackson stays on the field.
I trust the dysfunction of the AFC North that the Ravens will be the last man standing.
That's fair.
Because like the Steelers dealing with Aaron Rodgers, I know Burrow's back, but that ain't
Yeah.
happening. And as good as Shedeur might be, they're not going to get in there.
Yeah.
All right, here's one that's fun in the AFC South.
Okay.
The Indianapolis Colts. Do you trust them to stay atop the division?
To stay atop the
Yeah,
division,
I'll
yes,
just go with
I
that
do.
one.
I
You
do.
do.
I think they win the division. Do I trust that they're going to make any noise after? Like, I think they could finish like 12-7, like a really good year. But I would really warn Coach Steichen. Look, for us to trust you for the long haul, just hand the ball off. Hand the ball off more than anything else you do. Hand the ball off. Hand the ball off. But yeah, do I trust that they win the South? I do. Do I trust that they make noise after the South? I don't trust that.
I trust them like that girl that might be really good looking, but she's got a shady past, and you don't know if she's going to crop up and get crazy on you. Like I trust them a little bit, but I'm a little bit worried about the Daniel Jones honeymoon period. I think defenses are starting to get a bead on, hey, if I shut down Jonathan Taylor, my chances of beating the Colts go up exponentially. Where there are certain teams where you like the quarterback, all right, you're going to take away the run game. It's going to open things up for me. I do not feel that way about the Colts.
And even if you don't, though, look at the quarterback situation in the rest of those teams.
Right.
There's nobody there that's going to overtake
So you do not trust Jacksonville?
No, I don't.
Trevor Lawrence?
No,
I don't either.
I've seen Trevor Lawrence make too many mistakes.
I do not either.
I do want to acknowledge before we move to the next division, you are all world. You know that? Because you just took Daniel Jones, apple pie eating, All-American Duke quarterback, and compared him to like a shady chick from high school, that's pretty incredible. I don't know how many places.
Because he is a nice, wholesome guy. Yeah, I'm just trying to think
Daniel
of
Jones,
relationships that you trust, but you're like, I hope she doesn't cheat on me.
Yeah.
One of those. Better not leave her alone.
I can save her.
Yes.
All right,
AFC West. Denver Broncos. All those fourth quarter comebacks. Bo Nix has been nails in the fourth quarter, but they've had to win a lot of those games coming from behind.
Okay.
Do you trust them?
We're doing a whole division at once.
Yeah, because I don't know. I don't have to go over every team.
So I trust Bo Nix more than I trust Justin Herbert right now when I'm talking about deep runs.
And the Chargers' offensive line issues.
But you know what, man? 15. If Pat is back there, like I see no reason to believe that if the offensive line holds up, Pat can't go win 5 in a row right now. I don't see.
I don't trust it.
It's the most. I'm telling you, it's the only time in my life I've ever supported a team where I never feel like it's over until they're dead. I'm usually pretty pessimistic with my teams.
Yeah.
And with this team, I feel like it's 6-5. If they get everything together, Rashee Rice is back. He looked like a man last week. 141 yards. Kareem Hunt looked like Kareem Hunt the first go around. 130 yards for him too. And Mahomes threw for 352. So I feel like they get it back together. And I think the Chiefs somehow, some way, I think they figure it out. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know how you can't trust them. I mean, even the game against the Colts last weekend, I never felt like it was over.
No
matter what the score was, I'm like, just give them a chance. As long as they have the ball last, they're going to win. And sure enough, they did.
The only time in Pat Mahomes, I think this is his 9th year starting, that I've ever felt like that is when the Eagles just put that beat down on him in the Super Bowl.
Right.
It's the only time, because I'm telling you, man, even down 21, I was like, I don't know why. I think he finds a way. And then they went up like 33, and I was like, I think it's a wrap. But it's the only time I've ever felt like that. And yeah, I don't know. He's still reasonably healthy right now. He's feeling good. He's not running around with a busted ankle like he does most years. I think they tighten up that line, and I think things are starting to flow in the offense a little bit. I still trust the Chiefs the most. I do trust the Broncos. I don't trust the Chargers and Raiders. Sorry, guys.
All right, so we got a few there. How about the NFC? The Eagles, trust them? I think yes. I think you have to.
Yeah,
they might not be pretty, but they've got the pedigree. Mm-hmm. I don't trust any other team, and I don't know who you could.
Do you? Yeah, I know.
Dallas's offense has been great, but I don't trust their defense.
Okay.
And if Jaden Daniels gets healthy.
Question. Do you trust Dak Prescott yet?
I do.
Has he done it to you? He's done it for you?
I think he is a quarterback that can win a Super Bowl if he gets the right supporting cast, which would include a defense that's worthy.
Let's say hypothetically, Dak Prescott, you pick up Dak Prescott and you just drop him in Jalen Hurts' spot and you flip him. Do you think he can win with the Eagles? I think Dak Prescott is so good. I really do. I think he's really, really good. And I just don't know what it is. He's not a guy. Does he make the big mistake? Like, remember Tony Romo? He used to be good.
Yep.
But Tony Romo, every time you needed him to make a play, he'd throw a pick.
Yep.
And the same thing happened this week with who's the guy I was thinking of? It happened this weekend. The guy we're going to talk about next. It was Jameis.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Jameis will make a million plays, but when you need him to make a play, he throws a pick.
Yeah.
So you do trust Dak, but do you trust Dak on a playoff level yet?
I don't know how you can because he hasn't done it.
Okay.
And every playoff performance has pretty much been a flop, but a lot of it's gotten so ugly that he just doesn't have a chance. I think he'll prove the critics wrong. I think he'll get it done. But, man, he's getting up there in age. There ain't that many more tries.
Yeah.
But I've always been a Dak believer that he can do it.
I think so, too.
I trust that the New York Giants are going to suck.
That's fair.
That's what I trust there with the G-men.
I'm telling you.
They've been way more competitive with Jameis. I think Jameis is great for a locker room.
Yeah.
In a season that's gone off the rails, that's exactly what they needed. Was a guy like Jameis.
Yeah, it was perfect.
We talked about, is that what you want your franchise quarterback to be?
Yeah.
Maybe not. But I think it's perfect for this type of season.
Oh, yeah.
Showing up in his trench coat.
Bro, and that
Louis bag.
And that game was as Jameis as it gets.
Yes.
Right? He threw for a ton.
Both of them.
Offense went over 500, and he caught a touchdown.
Yeah.
He's shaking dudes. He's breaking tackles, and there you go. 412. There you go. Oh, my gosh. What a game.
Yep.
You think
phenomenal.
You think we talked about this last week. Do you think Jameis Winston, was he 32, 33, 31?
Yeah, he's getting up there sneakily. But does he ever a franchise quarterback again?
I don't know if I'd say franchise, because I don't know.
31. He's only 31.
So here's the deal. We use the term a lot. I don't think most teams have a franchise quarterback. I think 20 of the 32 teams would probably would probably look to upgrade at quarterback every year. So I don't think just because a guy starts, he's a franchise quarterback. Do you think he can fall into? You think he could do what Geno's doing right now? Gets himself another contract, starts on a okay franchise.
He might, but I almost feel like Jameis is kind of content where he is.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like, being the backup. So I actually think if he stays in New York loves him.
Yeah.
Right? He's a good mentor for Jackson Dart. He's a good option if Dart gets hurt. We've already seen him, susceptible to these injuries.
Yeah.
He can be a spot starter.
That's a great throw, by the way.
That's a phenomenal throw. I mean, that was a number one overall pick for a reason.
Yeah.
And then he also was one of the quarterbacks that had a 30 for 30 season, where like that's what's going to see crop up is he just can't get rid of those mistakes
I know.
when he tries to do too much.
Yeah,
and he is a good athlete. I mean, he did play 2 sports at Florida State. He was a great
Look
closer.
at this. Comes back to the ball, make a guy miss, break a tackle.
I mean,
where's the rest of the team, though? There's not another guy in that whole frame.
Yeah. He is a bigger dude. I mean, he's not that fun. He's not that many Thanksgiving dinners away from being a tight end. He kind of joked about that. He's got the propensity. He can put on a few LBs.
I believe it.
If he has to. All right, so the from the NFC.
All right, so I trust
the Eagles, and that's it from the NFC East.
I think so, yeah.
Do you trust the Bears?
I think at this point, I trust the Bears, and I trust the Bears system. I think Ben Johnson's done an awesome job. I think I trust the Bears receivers, DJ Moore and now Roma Dunze's coming along. And I think Caleb Williams is playing like Caleb Williams. Like, this is what I expected from Caleb Williams.
All right, so I'll make this one even bigger. Do you trust every team in the NFC North except for the Vikings?
Yes.
I think so, too. The Packers have had their moments this season.
Yeah.
Jordan Love, I think, does have to take a step up. But I think they've got kind of things back on track. They had those 2 games in a row. They lost to the Panthers and Eagles, but lately they've been better. They got a huge game this weekend.
Can 3 of them mathematically get out into the playoffs?
They could. We've seen 3 from one division get in, especially with the parity we're seeing this NFL season.
Yeah.
So I would trust. I still think I trust the Lions the most.
Yeah, that's
from
fair.
The division.
Well, I love Dan Campbell, and I think Jared Goff is good. I probably think Jared Goff is better than a lot of people think Jared Goff is, and I love their 2-headed running game. I think Amon-Ra's nasty. Yeah, I think I definitely trust Detroit, and I trust everybody in the North for sure, except Minnesota.
All right, my question for the South: do you trust any team from the NFC South to win a playoff game?
No, I don't.
I don't either. Yeah, it's really come off the rails for all of these teams. Yeah. Probably most disappointingly is Tampa.
I wouldn't say all. I think Carolina. If you'd have told me Carolina was 6-6 through 12, would you believe that?
No. Yeah. It's been a good year by their standard.
Yeah,
which is not great, but I think it's been better for Carolina. And Bryce Young's starting to show a little bit of life.
Yeah,
he's starting to get some help. All right, I have a statement for you.
Oh boy. Okay.
I think I trust the Los Angeles Rams more than any team in the NFL.
I'm not mad at that, man.
I mean, Matthew Stafford is playing as good as any point as he has in his entire career.
He is.
He's got a Super Bowl. Yeah. Sean McVay has a Super Bowl.
I know.
The defense is starting to play better. I think the Rams might be the most dangerous team in the NFL.
I agree with it. I agree. After watching them this week, I'm convinced they have everything that I think you need to have to make a run in the playoffs. We talk about it a lot, man. You need the quarterback, you need the coach, and then just star players. I mean, we've seen Puka do it before. You said it yourself. The defense is coming along. Their run game is good, and Sean McVay is as good as it gets back there. So, man, I definitely trust the Rams. Again, Rams, Eagles, Chiefs. These guys are in a different level for me. I trust any one of those. But
we have a problem with our math because I asked you about the NFC North, and you were saying, can 3 teams make it?
Yeah.
What do you do with the NFC West? Because they have 3 teams that could very much be in this mix as well. And that math isn't going to math. Well, that will not work.
That's what we were talking about before. Like, do you deem that a great year? I think it's sick that like no team right now is like 10 and is any team 10-1 or what are we in week 12 with a bye?
Yeah.
So is any team 10-1 or is 9-2 the best we got?
I believe 9-2 is the best we have.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
I guess maybe we should clarify and say the AFC is garbage.
Yeah, the AFC is pretty bad.
The AFC, and then like the teams we were talking about trusting, like I don't know, but the Broncos I kind of do, but not really. The Colts, I'm there with the girlfriend. Well, I don't know. Like I don't know.
I trust them within the AFC. That's it, I guess. So that's like being. I don't know. I don't want to say anything foul, but yeah. I think I trust maybe 3 teams in the AFC, and I trust far more teams in the NFC. I'm comfortable with you saying the Rams. The Rams are.
Matthew Stafford
he's playing
has
amazing.
30 touchdown passes.
2 picks,
That is And just two picks. That is 7 more touchdown passes than the next closest quarterback, who is Dak Prescott, who has 23.
And Matthew Stafford used to be viewed like one of those gunslingers, right? Like he would make the dangerous
Even the year
throw.
they won the Super Bowl, that was a big knock. I think he led the NFL in interceptions, but it was like 13 or 14, and everybody's worried about him.
Yeah.
Now he's cleaned that up, and he's playing as good as he's ever played.
That's always been the one thing, because Stafford's had the arm and the talent since he's been in high school, man. I heard about Stafford when he was probably like a junior, right?
Yeah.
And he's through Georgia. He's been insane. First overall pick, and he's kind of really, really put it together. I think it's cool. That goes back to what you were saying before, too. Do I ever think a guy will be a franchise quarterback again? No, I think he's getting a little old at like 31, 32. I think a lot of these guys are being your typical franchise quarterback even later.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of these guys are coming into their own a little later and prolonging their prime a lot more. Matthew Stafford's what, 38, 39?
37.
He's 37.
Do you remember
right?
in training camp, though, he had the back issue and everybody's
He didn't
like,
even have a training camp.
Right, because I had a hunch that might have been that veteran back issue.
Could have been.
You know, you don't really need training camp, and let's just come up with an injury so that you don't look like you're getting special treatment. So you're like, hey, Matthew, just go over there and rehab your back and take care of it, and we'll be fine.
Do you know what I think made me feel like Matthew Stafford was a grandpa even more, though? He was high school teammates with Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah.
And Clayton Kershaw, in his sport, I feel like he's an antique, right? He just retired. I'm like,
he looks older.
This guy's been the best player in the league for 20 years now, blah, blah. And I heard they were like high school teammates and classmates.
They go way back.
And I'm like, damn, is Stafford that old? And now I'm like, 38's really not that bad. 37's not that terrible. I guess I thought Kershaw was way older than he was,
I know.
You know?
Yeah, and his injuries have really kind of derailed the last end of his career. And
definitely.
In a less physical sport, Matthew Stafford's still thriving, having this MVP type season. Yeah, there they are. They've known each other longer than high school. Since little grade school.
Yeah, Stafford looks like he could do it for another 5 years.
Yeah.
Right? He's playing out of his mind.
I've said this on here a number of times. The quarterback position has never been easier to play in the NFL.
You do.
They protect you. You don't get hit. And if you can win with your brain, like you don't get hit because you know where pressure's coming from, you know how to get rid of the ball. The rules are beneficial, so everything increases offense. If you are a savvy veteran quarterback, you can tear apart these defenses.
And you know better than anybody. Is it fair to say the last thing to go is the throwing arm? Because I mean, like, Stafford's still got a cannon. I saw Aaron Rodgers uncork one for like 70.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story about when I was training to play. Vinny Testaverde was like the quarterback coach where I would train, and he would uncork him like 55 at like 45. And I'm like, is that the last thing to go for a quarterback?
Probably,
is it the arm? You can still sling it a long time, right?
Yeah, I think so. You can go out there and still get it done as long as you don't have a shoulder issue like I do.
So as long as you maintain a modicum of mobility and the ability to get the football out when you're supposed to, don't get killed out there.
Yep.
You play a long time. Yeah, you're right.
All right, 2 firings took place in the NFL. The Raiders decided to part ways with Chip Kelly. They fired him after he was at Ohio State last year, won a national championship at their offensive coordinator. Then he comes back in the NFL, which I thought was an intriguing hire at the time. I thought maybe there was a chance it could work. I don't know how much it has to do with the lack of talent on that roster, but Pete Carroll said, nope, we're going to go in a different direction. That one didn't work out. And with the numbers they put up, or lack of numbers they put up, it should not be surprising.
Yeah.
And then after Brian Daboll has been fired already, you're like, what more could the Giants do? Well, they could do this. They fired their defensive coordinator, Shane Bowen. Now, multiple coaches fired on the staff. I mean, what would you expect them to do? They've blown all these leads in the, what is it, 4? We had 4 fourth quarter games that they've blown the leads.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess, I'd be curious to know whose decision that was.
Yeah, you know what, man? I think the more I've been watching the last couple of years, I was never obviously I understand the importance of great ownership, but at the end of the day, I always thought it came down to coaching and players. And then over the last couple of years, I don't know how much I really think that, because I'm looking at these guys and I look at a guy like Robert Saleh, who I thought as a head coach looked incredibly overmatched, and he goes back and he has success under another. A lot of these places, I just think it's rotten at the top, and I don't know, man. I think the Giants right now, I hate to say it like this because their history is so long. It just seems like things have gotten away from them, man. I think Shane is pretty terrible. Like, he's got to go, right?
Yeah.
What happens with Joe Shane at the end of the year?
I think they've got to go in a new direction, because if I'm a head coach, I want somebody who I'm working on the same page with, not somebody that might get fired after a year. Yeah. Like, I think the perfect situation is what set up in a place like the 49ers when they hired John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan together at the same time, gave them both like 6-year deals and said, we are going to back you guys. And those guys were buddies. They knew each other from all the way back from when John Lynch played with Mike Shanahan. Right. And they had similar philosophies of what type of team they want to build. Do you want to build from the outside in? Do you want to build around a veteran quarterback? Like what, all those things, because people have different philosophies of what they want to do. I would at minimum want my coach and my general manager on the same page, and there's no guarantee you do that if you go out and hire a new coach. You know, it's just I think I like the pairing of them together, and if you have an opportunity to do it like the Giants do, I think the Giants should clean house and try to find a coach and a GM that they can pair together.
Yeah, and I always think it's dangerous when you let that GM who's fighting for his life draft people, right? Because that always becomes a big issue too. Like this guy knows that he might just he's taking a flyer on a guy, not knowing, just save my job, please. And he goes and makes an erratic pick, and you've seen that go wrong so many times.
All right, you got to get me set up on this next story because I told you we had some NBA drama.
Oh, okay, yeah, let's do this.
It's not current players going at it. It's one current, one former player. What's going on here with Draymond Green?
All right, so obviously we know Draymond Green has just been outspoken for a lifetime, and we've seen a lot. We've seen a lot of the podcasts where things just catch fire, and this week things have been, I guess, a bit slow on the floor, but off the floor, things have been crazy. We've seen Draymond Green, long-time successful power forward and a 4 in the game now, right? I think he plays the 4 more than not. Mm-hmm. And he's getting after it with a former 4, Kenyon Martin, who was the number 1 overall pick in his day out of Cincinnati for the Nets. And these guys have been getting after it for a while, but they both have pretty decent arguments. So Draymond Green, I guess he's been getting shots from Kenyon Martin over the last couple of months. And he kind of, I guess he's had enough of it. I know, guys, do we have the video on Draymond Green sort of putting Kenyon Martin's career into perspective?
Oh, my goodness.
And we're only talking about it because it's just been everywhere. I haven't been able to get away from it. So we don't like to dabble in the drama here, but this one's been a pretty big one. And yeah, it's been Draymond Green who's super outspoken, Kenyon Martin who's super outspoken, and they both make good arguments, right? Draymond talks about how he was a number 35 overall pick and turned it into probably a better career than number 1 overall pick Kenyon Martin. And Kenyon Martin, all right, let's see.
Here's Draymond just ripping him to shreds.
Yeah, he kills him.
I've held off on responding multiple times. Kenyon Martin was born in Saginaw, Michigan, born and raised in Saginaw. So the constant shots has been a little confusing to me because I don't quite know where they came from. And you think, someone that was a number 1 pick that didn't quite have the career that I've had when you talk defensive player of the year or 9 all-defensive teams that I have, and he has 0. 1 all-star? Make no mistake about it. You are an all-star. I'll give you that. A lot of people can't say they're an all-star, so I'll give you that. You're a one-time all-star. That's beautiful. But you must admit, to be the player that you were and defender that you believed you were and to not have, a single all-defensive second team, it's kind of an underachievement. Number 1 pick in the draft. A lot of people look for that guy to win Rookie of the Year. Didn't. All-rookie team, though. First team all-rookie. I can't say I made any all-rookie team, so kudos. I tip my hat to that. It started off promising. Lost in a couple NBA finals. He got to sniff it. Didn't quite get a taste, but got a little sniff of it. In 2000, playing for the Cincinnati Bearcats. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to see that championship through either. My big brother, Mateen Cleaves, went and took that championship. So it's tough to sit in a space of continuing to speak on my name and call my name out as if I underachieved or am underachieving when I was just simply the 35th pick in the NBA draft and somebody took a swing on in the second round and it just happened to work out, to become one of the greatest players in a franchise history.
So basically this came about where Kenyon Martin was saying that Draymond Green is sort of a product of being in that Warriors and that Stephen Curry, stratosphere. He said,
which is undoubtedly true.
I think so too. And he goes on to say something along the lines of in my life, in my basketball lifetime, you're 6'9". We used to play down in the post. We used to mix that up. It was nasty. Guys were banging. Guys were defending hard. You're not allowed to do that nowadays. And that's sort of Kenyon Martin's whole thing. And we talk about that a lot, trying to compare errors and these guys get mad about it. But that was Kenyon Martin's argument. Back when I was playing, a 6'9" power forward would have gotten eaten up down there because we were all 6'10", 6'11", jacked out of their minds, and these guys were overly physical. And he's saying, I don't know that Draymond plays that type of game where he would have been successful in our era. And I guess Draymond took that as a big shot, and he went off and ripped Kenyon Martin to shreds. He further went on to say something along the lines of, because Draymond Green then was talking about role players versus what he calls swing players. And he was saying, I like to call them not role players, but swing players. And swing players are guys who kind of need to, once or twice in a playoff series, do something to elevate their team and swing the series in their team's favor. So he killed Kenyon Martin talking about how he was like a losing player and was never able to, he wasn't even a role player. He wasn't even a swing player. And that's sort of where this kind of came from. And it's just gotten ugly over the last week. And Kenyon Martin went off. If we have a half hour, guys, to recite the players that Kenyon Martin thinks is better than Draymond Green.
Give me a little taste. Give me 10, 15 seconds of this.
200 people.
That's people. I dumbed it down to power forwards. Right? I dumbed it down to just power forwards. People that are really good at basketball, man. Like all around, they do things more than just go. They play basketball. Their skill set is that, like, they really good though. So let's go down this. Should we go down this list? 50. So this is a list of. I was gonna cut it short, but then my basketball savantness, if that is a word, kicked in, and
he goes through.
This is
all 200.
Where we are.
Yeah,
with this.
He lists off 200 names.
Kenyon's power forward list of Mount. Yeah, this 50, right? So let's go down this. So watch this. So we got Giannis, Anthony Davis, Dirk, Charles Barkley, Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, Dennis Rodman, Karl Malone, Chris Webber, Amari Stoudemire, Chris Bosh, Rasheed Wallace, Pau Gasol, Elton Brand, Antoine Jameson, Zach Randolph, Carlos Boozer, David West, Jermaine O'Neal, Sean Kemp, Derek Coleman, Clifford Robinson, Danny Manning, Larry Johnson, Ben Baker, LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, Kevin Love, Sharif Abdul-Rahim, Al Jefferson, Drew Gooden, Josh Smith, Tim Thomas,
Dude, you can stop it. Hey, there are names on there. I get what he's trying to do. There are names on there that aren't even on the same planet career-wise as Draymond Green, but I see what he's trying to do there. It was very funny. Very funny. We'll see how that one ends.
Can both of them be true? Can both of them be right?
That's what I'm saying. I think both of them make decent arguments.
Because a lot of people, I thought Draymond put Kenyon in a body bag.
Killed him.
But people were pointing out that Draymond didn't really answer the question at hand. He just took the shots at Kenyon directly compared to him.
Right.
When that's not what Kenyon was really calling him out versus how he would stack up versus these other players.
And I think it's always tough, again, to compare eras. I think if you're going to compare eras, you're always going to run into this kind of problem where the game has changed, the rule has changed, sports science has changed. It's why we get into the LeBron, Michael Jordan thing. How do we compare one guy who had this training and recovery versus one guy who had that? And yeah, the game was completely different, though. Again, I don't know of a 6'9", 4 that was really successful. I mean, Magic Johnson was in that era. He was 6'9" playing the 1. So it's like it's a hard thing. It's really hard, but it's funny to watch prideful, egotistical, successful dudes. These guys are lions, these two. These guys are lions. And you don't come
there
to
ain't no
ones
backing down. I don't know if this thing's going to end anytime soon either.
No.
Somebody's going to want the last word.
Yeah, no, it's been a week of drama. It's been a week of drama-filled stuff in the NBA. That wasn't the only one. We've been having an issue between Ja Morant and Klay Thompson, another former Warrior, and that's been a hot one lately. Ja Morant not even playing, but dogging on Klay Thompson, basically real disrespectfully saying stuff like you're finished, like it's over for you, you're not the same player anymore.
I thought Klay body bagged him.
But the craziest thing is that I've been watching Klay Thompson for probably 15 years now or 13 years now. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say a bad word about him.
No.
Klay Thompson always seems like that chill dude who's always stands on the outside of the fights and just kind of smiles and laughs at it. Nobody ever seems to have a problem with him. And I think Ja Morant's an interesting case, man. I think Ja Morant is getting dangerously close to, and we've seen a lot of players who have really come out of the gates hot and gotten real high and had their careers sort of curtailed because of like injuries or kind of stuff outside of their, control. And I think Ja Morant, who was like a first-team All-NBA guard like 3 or 4 years ago, has let his lack of professionalism and self-awareness really start to kind of take him away from that, that stratosphere of the best players in the league. He finds himself off the floor a lot. He's doing silly stuff. He's been arrested. I mean, he's had to be disciplined multiple times.
Yeah,
now,
he did the stuff with the guns when he was riding around. After, did it again. He's been reprimanded.
Ja Morant has the type of talent where he should be in one place his whole career. He should be able to lock in and win, and they build around him. And now you're hearing talk of Ja Morant being traded, and that's just that is criminal for a guy like Ja Morant who has all the tools in the world. And if he had the right people around him to just kind of lock him in and get his head right, I think Ja Morant can go down and be special. But
he was one of my favorite players to watch. I remember watching him in the NCAA tournament at Murray State.
Unbelievable.
Got knocked out by Florida State.
Okay.
But I still remember watching that, being terrified of him as a player. And then, man, that dude is special. Watching him get drafted and then having a Rookie of the Year. And I'm thinking, this guy could be the next face of the NBA.
A lot
he
of
gets
people
the
saying
shoe
that.
deal. He gets it all. Like, he's got the world at his fingertips.
Yeah.
And then he can't handle it.
Derrick Rose type athleticism, right? Kind of sneaked up on guys, came out of nowhere. He's on the highlight reel, just dunking on people's heads every single night. And then it's just kind of been a downward spiral since then. He's done a lot of silly stuff. He doesn't take much accountability, which sucks. You like to see guys I mean, we've seen it a million times. I'm so sorry to anybody who's offended by this, but like a guy like Michael Vick who did something terrible, but he's done everything he can since then to kind of fix it, right? He can't undo what he's done, but he took accountability, said, I made a mistake and I'm trying to do better now. And I feel like Ja Morant, I haven't gotten any of that from him. You get the sense that he's trying to do better. You get the sense. I mean,
no,
when you still,
I think Ja Morant is not listening to advice that's given to him.
Yeah.
I think he's still very immature, and I don't think he thinks he's in the wrong. And here's the one thing that's very unique about the NBA. It is probably the most fraternal sport, like as a fraternity, where it's very small because there's only so many players that play.
13 guys on a team.
It's a smaller community. And those guys look out for each other, and they're giving each other advice. And I've heard either current players or former players that are on broadcast now, like worried about Ja Morant, especially when he's doing the stuff with the guns and calling him out, saying, "Why are you acting like that? You didn't come from the hood." Like calling out and saying, "You got to grow up, man. This is real world stuff." And he just hasn't responded. And the fact that he still hasn't responded and he's doing like stuff like this with Klay Thompson has me worried about his future.
Well, that should be the biggest telltale sign, right? When the veterans come out to try to extend a hand and bring you up, and you take, let's be real, Klay Thompson's a first ballot Hall of Fame he's a scoring assassin. Klay Thompson used to get buckets, right? He was an integral piece in one of the best dynasties in my basketball life, right? The Warriors of the Steph Curry, Klay Thompson time, they were on another planet for a long time, and he was one of the primary cogs in that. And he's not a guy to be disrespected, especially a guy like him who's super cool. It didn't seem like he was being disrespectful of Ja Morant, who's in street clothes, not even in the game, right? I didn't see what Klay Thompson
is. This was pretty good.
Was that?
This was really good.
And then with Ja, he's a funny guy. He has a lot to say all the time, especially for a guy who rarely takes accountability. But you know what? That's for another day.
What did Ja have to say on this occasion?
Nothing of intelligent depth. It was really just his just running his mouth, and he's been running his mouth for a long time. And it's funny to run your mouth when you're on the bench. It's kind of the story of his career so far, just leaving us wanting more. You know, we all want to see him out there and do his best, but he's just been letting a lot of other stuff get in the way of that. And we need that in the NBA. We need our best players to be out there. And when you're a star, it comes with a great responsibility. And I hate to see that go to waste.
He is offering Ja Morant some words of wisdom, and that was harsh. But Ja Morant needs to listen to that.
Yeah, that's always the best way to like bring a guy up. Right? He hyped him up completely. He acknowledged his talent, said he could be the face of the league. But dude, you are screwing everything up. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So like that's the best way to do it. Hype him up first, and then you put him in his place, man. We'll see what Ja Morant does.
All right, let's wrap this thing up with some reactions. What do we got? We got some surprise videos from our fellas. Let's see what Malik found today. Oh, we just.
Does anybody?
Where is this? This Curry Steph.
So something tells me.
Philippines or something?
I hate to say this. I don't know if our guys. Could it be India? Curry Steph instead of Steph Curry?
It could be.
That's incredible.
Yeah. That
Steph
was really
Curry
good.
with the triple back handspring. Incredible. Nice job, Steph.
That was really
I think that was the Philippines.
Oh,
the
was?
Philippines.
Okay.
That's what I was going to
Okay.
say. I feel like I've seen those dudes
Interesting.
before. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, my goodness. This terrifies me. All right, this is scary. I don't like seeing this. Now, these are real robots, right? Because I can't even tell sometimes.
Bro, imagine taking a charge from that thing. Yeah, it'd be a wrap.
I mean, we all think it's fun and games until they turn on us.
The problem is the owner's going to swat him one time and get killed afterwards.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, wow, there you go. Oh, yeah, this is worrisome.
Yeah.
This is
Look,
worrisome.
they're playing catch.
This and those walk-around dog robots.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The walk-around dog ones from Boston, those trip me out the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's we're getting too close too fast.
First ever, what's
to
that?
taking
First
us
ever
all out.
real-world demo of human
robot that plays
robot
basketball
that plays
autonomously.
Oh, no.
That means they're just
no.
playing. Oh,
Oh,
my
no.
goodness.
All right, let's see it.
Oh, here we go.
Wow, the whole team's doing Drew Hill. Hey.
Oh, I like this.
I'm good with this.
You know, I can appreciate that because these young dudes have an appreciation for some good music.
That's it, yeah.
Give me some music from
For
back
sure.
in the. When was Drew Hill popular?
90s,
Late 90s, right?
Yeah.
Give
Cisco.
me that. Shows me these kids are still tuned into what's good.
Well, hopefully there's still a couple of old men in that late. I think Mercedes Lewis is still playing, right?
Yes,
Mercedes,
he might be.
shout Mercedes Lewis to keep the next generation in
done.
check.
And I like the creativity of that one. That's a great.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Because I was never in a locker room. How long you think? How many hours of time that they should have been in the playbook or training room were they putting that together?
Now you got to remember, this is the new NFL where celebrations are embraced.
But I'm just saying.
I was in an era where you didn't really have, couldn't do all that.
But does one guy say, like, guys, if I score this weekend, we're all going to get here, and I need you, Danny, here, and
those
we're just
are all
do this.
those were definitely all the receivers, right? And then you get a couple running backs
or
that run
DB
over,
running it back for a touchdown.
Right. There's definitely the skill positions or the guys that are doing that one.
If any player in a locker room is watching this though, and you guys devise one of those,
it's all based off TikTok. That's probably how they found Drew Hill. Was on TikTok. That dance was probably on TikTok.
If you guys could record how that comes to be, I'm interested in seeing it. Is it in the middle of a locker room? Because in the old days, you get killed, right?
Oh, no,
you
but
can't
not
do
today.
that in the middle of
They're
the
all
locker room.
doing TikToks in the locker room.
Interesting.
All right, what do we got here? A 7-year-old? Oh, boy. Ooh, she got some quick feet.
Look at this.
Man, she is moving.
She is.
Look at D1 training
Off the ground
facility.
quick.
Look at that. Man. See, I want to love this video, but it also scares me if there's some dad or mom that's just drilling her out there every day and not letting her just be a kid. But
yeah,
I hope it's the best of both worlds. Maybe she's pushing
maybe she
herself,
loves it.
and
Yeah,
she's
maybe
saying,
she
take
loves
me
it.
to the gym every day.
For sure.
My youngest was like that. My oldest two were not.
Yeah.
Well done. Awesome
Yeah,
stuff.
she's gonna have a cool life. I'm sure she gets to do a lot of cool stuff if she plays. So
no doubt, she might be an Olympian one
maybe.
day with those feet. All right, appreciate you guys listening. Have a great Thanksgiving. Make sure you subscribe, like the channel. Check us out on Manect as well, at Danny Kanell on socials.
At Manno Steel. You guys got it. VT merch. Check us out. A lot of cool stuff coming out. Have a wonderful holiday. Take care of each other, guys. Be safe.
See y'all next week.